Welcome to the No Name MMA, the best damn MMA podcast you've never heard of. Thank you for joining us on this lovely Wednesday, June 15th, 2022. As always, I am your co-host, Motivated Andy, joined by my lovely, my amazing, my beautiful wife.
No Nutshot Nina.
And before we get all the craziness that was by far the best card of the year,
Crazy.
UFC 275, first, we'll talk about some of the things that we had going on. Babe?
Yeah. So, I am about to wrap up my wedding season for the spring, which has been going on since early March, like first weekend of March. And in the planning world, it's really sort of taken its biggest start to the season at the very beginning of the year. So I'm almost done there. I am really enjoying having a little downtime at work, just having a lot less stress at work. And so I feel great about that.
Yeah. As for me, we do have our next interview lined up for tomorrow, yes, which should be releasing either late tomorrow or early Friday. I guess I'll just say it. I'll say who it is.
No, don't jinx it.
Don't jinx it?
No,
don't jinx it. Don't tell them?
No.
Okay. I won't tell you guys. But yeah, we have an interview set up for tomorrow. Should be pretty nice. We have UFC Fight Night Texas going down for Donald Cerrone's possible last fight.
Oh, for
he
sure.
might be the first fighter in UFC history with 24 wins. 24
so
fucking wins in the UFC, which is fucking crazy. But yeah, let's talk about all things violence. Off to Nina for the No Name MMA. Ugh. Oh my god, the MMA minute. Jesus.
That's okay. All right. Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards 2 is finally happening. During the broadcast of UFC 275, the rematch was confirmed for UFC 278, the upcoming pay-per-view event scheduled for August 20th at Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City, Utah. Usman and Edwards met 7 years ago at UFC on Fox 17, where the Nigerian Nightmare won a unanimous decision over Rocky.
Yeah, even though it has been officially announced, this is Leon Edwards we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. One of the most cursed individuals ever to hit the UFC. Like, this motherfucker has the worst luck ever. We were talking about this fight not even possibly happening at one point.
Yeah.
We thought, fuck, it might be Khamzat.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, it might be like somebody else. Like, Leon Edwards is never going to get this shit.
Yeah.
So, now that it's officially announced in Utah, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm very hesitant to jump on the train that this is actually happening still.
Got you.
Just because of Leon Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kamaru Usman will end up fighting something or somebody at UFC 278, I think.
Yeah.
But
you think he would fight like a robot?
Yeah. Yo, I made a video about this if you follow Instagram, but Ali earlier this week said that Kamaru Usman, after watching the fights on Saturday, that Kamaru Usman can go out there and beat Jan Blachowicz, Jiri, and Glover Teixeira. So Ali is on some crack shit first, and then I don't know. I'm not upset about it. I'm just kind of like, dude, shut up with your mosquito ass head. Mm-hmm. Like, just stop, please. But that's besides the point.
Muhammad Ali?
No, Ali Abdelaziz.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali's dead.
No. Sorry, I know. I'm sorry.
So, what was I saying? Yeah, Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. It is scheduled. It is official.
Yeah.
Does it happen? I don't know. Does it have my vote of confidence? No, it doesn't. Leon Edwards is that dude.
Yeah.
He's on the same level as Khabib versus Tony. Just things that weren't supposed to happen. I don't know why. I don't know if the simulation's broken. I don't know if it's whatever's happening right now. Mercury's in retrograde. But I just don't buy it. I'll believe it when I see both of them in the octagon locked in a cage.
Yeah.
Because he could get injured. Kamaru could get injured. Like, any possible thing that can happen will happen. Yeah. It's Murphy's Law when it comes to Leon Edwards.
True.
So, yeah.
Babe, when was the last time you checked in to see what the net worth of the UFC was?
Probably a fucking shit ton.
Recent documents show that the UFC is now making over $1 billion a year, with more growth expected.
Yeah. They've been running all of these events at profit.
Yeah. Do we think Dana White is a billionaire yet?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
That is sickening.
A billionaire? Nah, but he's well on his way.
Oh my Lanta.
For sure. I mean, I'm not surprised. The one thing that I hope is the case after this is released and okay, like, we get that the UFC is getting paid a lot. We get that the owners are getting paid a lot. The fighters are not getting paid anything. At least this full disclosure kind of urges the fighters, like, yeah, I should be making more of this pie. Like, really, truly, you guys are not getting paid shit.
I cannot just understand the concept of $1 billion. Like, when I start thinking about it, it's like you fall down a rabbit hole when you think about, like, the amount of luxury items. Yeah. So, like, when you think about $1 million house, okay, let's even take it to, like, a $10 million house that you watch being sold on, like, Selling Sunset.
Yeah.
A billionaire? To them, that $10 million chump change.
Right.
What? Like, what?
Yeah.
I can't. I cannot understand the concept of $1 billion.
So, yeah.
It's so wild.
I think, I want to say it was Bloody Elbow who released I feel like they're trying to cop my shit, the kind of video that I make or whatever. Oh. But whatever, they're doing a little short video, fine. Mm-hmm. It's your prerogative. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You fucking losers over Bloody Elbow.
Oh my gosh, stop that.
They're not losers. They're cool. I don't know. Maybe they are. Fuck them. They're losers to me. I don't give a shit. But they covered it on a little short video, and they said that the owners are apparently getting 36% of that billion, right?
Okay.
And the fighters are only getting like 15 to 20%, something like that.
Literal pennies.
So yeah, so that's where they're getting 2/3 of that kind of profit share, just split between them.
How much you think of all business is like fabricated for the shareholders?
All of it.
All of them, right?
Because.
So how do you?
Because if you look at it from a shareholder perspective,
yeah,
it's their money that's keeping this shit afloat. Their shares, their purchase of this is why this ship's still kind of going.
Right.
Right now, it's nothing but profit.
Right.
But if, like, the UFC started losing money, it would be the shareholders' money that would be being lost.
Right.
And then from there, the more shareholders you have, like with the UFC and Endeavor, it's more, okay, like, we gave you so much money. Because before Endeavor, for the people that are more hardcore, that are not as recent of fans, the UFC had the shittiest fucking ads.
Yeah.
Like, we were talking about, like, Bud Light was the highlight of the UFC sponsorship ad.
Okay.
It was My Pillow Guy. It was, Bowflex. Those were the commercials that were on. Now, if you look at the UFC, like, kind of commercial, it is higher end. It is sleeping pills. It is, like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's that shit that you would get during primetime television. So that is premium.
Now Modelo features one of their fighters.
Right. It is not the same as it was before.
Yeah.
Now it is prime time slotted ad packages that you can put into your shit.
Very true.
So that's what they're doing for the UFC. Like, hey, we can put ads in your shit that appeal to a mass that hopefully bring in customers. That's the way they look at it.
Right.
So it's like, well, because we're doing that, we want more of the pie. Which, if you think about it, as a capitalist country, that is what you fucking want.
Yeah.
More money in, more money out to corporate daddy.
You need a machine.
Right. So, it is what it is. I just hope that there's fucking fans of fire underneath the fighters, and hopefully they want to get paid more.
Yeah.
Because Sean O'Malley, as much as I clown on him and as however I feel about him, he's saying that he is hoping to be making $1 million a fight. Yeah. Sean O'Malley, say what you want about him, deserves more than... He should be getting $1 million a fight now.
Yeah. With
as much fucking revenue as he brings in.
You're right.
He is a commodity. Like, whether you like it or not, he is a commodity.
And when the UFC is now a $1 billion company, pay the guy $1 million twice a year.
But no, he's a bantamweight. No, he's a blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's not Conor McGregor. But if he gets up there to a championship status and he goes up a weight class...
He's your next generation.
I know, yeah. This is Conor McGregor, like, built up slow and you might not like it. Yeah. But if the success is there, this is a long-term play by the UFC.
Pay him more and he'll try harder.
But he just re-signed and he's not getting $1 million a fight. He just re-signed. He was on his last fight of his deal.
Right.
So, I know he's getting merch money. I know he's getting YouTube money. I know he's getting podcast money. But he shouldn't have to be doing all that stuff.
Other work, right.
And I feel like it's not like it looks like he likes it, he enjoys it, whatever. But he shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
No fighter should have to
not with
start a side
the
game.
amount of time that they spend working on their
craft and shit.
Their game, yeah.
So, yeah, this just goes to show you the greediness of the UFC.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe fighters. I mean, for the craziness that they do in the cage, they're soft as fuck when it comes to corporate daddy.
Right.
They let corporate daddy fuck them in the ass no matter what it is. To be getting paid thousands, thousands, a fraction of a percentage. Yeah. And they're saying all this money is going to fighters.
Right.
I'm just saying that a lot of that, millions and millions of dollars that gets paid to fighters, is going to Conor. Yeah. Conor got paid like $23 million or something per his last fight.
Yeah.
Ranging from 23 to something else.
Oh my god.
Conor warrants it because he genuinely sells that much.
Right.
But that's also 23 million out of like however many million out of $1 billion that the fighters get.
Right, yeah.
So that is a whole margin. Like if you looked at the pie cut for just Conor, it's not all that much. He's just a fighter. Yeah. But if he was singled out, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's like a third of that pie. Mm-hmm. So even then, like when you put it into that perspective, it's like fighters doesn't include Conor either. Because he is on his own stratosphere. Again, whether you like it or not, we must admit, Conor puts ass in seats. Yeah. However you feel about him.
Yeah, you're right, babe.
But, yeah.
Sorry. Okay. No, you're totally right. Tangents. Okay, cool. According to Moody's, the UFC... Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. We just kind of got into that. Moving on. Talia Santos suffers broken orbital from UFC 275 clash of heads with Valentina Shevchenko.
She got surgery the day of, if not the same day. It was a clash of heads that happened in the third round of a very competitive fight that was also, like, whatever. I knew Talia Santos was not going to go out without swinging. She's also one of the younger opponents that had faced Shevchenko, which is now getting older. So it's not surprising that a champion has a bad day at the office, you know? Yeah. That's where I think a lot of people are. It's that whole Jennifer Maia situation, whenever Jennifer Maia won a round against Shevchenko, she is a Muay Thai heavy fighter.
Yeah.
She apparently had an injury.
Uh-huh.
I believe that she's not using that as an excuse. She could have, but I don't think so. Shevchenko's just too boss like that.
Yeah.
For me to think that, oh, she's just giving me a shitty ass excuse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she's gonna lose at some point.
Mm-hmm. Everybody does.
And if she had lost to Tyler Santos, it would have been like, oh, I mean, yeah, the girl's 19-1. She has 10 knockouts. Like, yeah, she lost to a nobody in her UFC debut, but that doesn't mean you can't get better.
Yeah.
Especially after 4 fights getting won. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not shocked. Did that change the fight? It definitely did. And I was also thinking that maybe Tyler won.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Shevchenko won. Me and my brother and our friend Bailey, we were watching the fight and we were like, yeah, maybe Shevchenko got it barely.
Right.
And she did barely.
Right.
But yeah, she's a human. And yeah, sometimes shit happens.
She
and
heard
now
me talking about how she was an alien on last week's episode.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, shoot, they're starting to figure it out. I need to go and
mix
it up a little.
Put up a little, like, oh yeah, look at me,
Humble
I'm so weak.
myself a little bit.
That might be the case, but now, yeah, Tyler Santos, after this surgery, is wanting an immediate rematch.
Yeah.
I think Shevchenko, this is the best case scenario. I mean, we were talking about her going up to a different weight class.
Yeah.
Like, no, why don't you go ahead and beat Anderson Silva's record of title defenses?
Yeah.
Or Demetrius Johnson's record of title defenses.
Especially when you didn't win the last fight like you really needed to have won. To
move
on up to the next weight class. I feel like you need to have a very
definitive, like,
aggressive win.
But I mean, she had
be ready to move up.
Right. I think this is her 8th title defense. So she can move. I mean, she can do whatever the fuck she wants.
She can.
But
if she's teetering between what option to go with, you're right. Yeah.
Just go back, defend your title, like, definitively.
Yeah.
Which, it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
But why go somewhere else when you have that left?
Right.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like if it were me, I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna do better.
Yeah.
Like, this bitch got it easy.
Yeah.
My foot was fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I still showed up and I still won.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys you forgot. You forgot how fucking good I am.
Yeah.
And what if she really did fuck up her foot?
Yeah.
What if she goes out there and destroys Tyler Santos?
Right.
So that's where it's hard again. It is Shevchenko.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you can't doubt her. But also, this is MMA. This is why we watch MMA. This is what makes this sport so great.
Mm-hmm.
It can switch real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. If I'm Shevchenko, I'm wanting that rematch as well.
Yeah. Well, in the next weight class up, Irene Idiana tells Danny Segura of MMA Junkie that she wants UFC 277 winner Juliana Pena or Amanda Nunes, saying, I'm ready for that.
Yeah. Yeah. If I want Shevchenko to stay at her weight class, then yeah, Irene should get it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's weird. There's like a stratosphere in that weight class of bantamweight women's fighting that I'm like, nobody else is really going to get close.
Yeah.
But also Juliana Pena does not inspire that confidence that she's going to maintain that belt like that. Yeah, she'll beat Amanda, but she's lost to other people. She got tapped out to Jermaine Ramírez.
Right.
So like that's where like she's made mistakes before where I'm like, maybe she has Amanda's number, but not everybody else's.
Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, Aldana could fucking go out there and bust some ass, but I don't know.
Yeah. Moving on, Khamzat Chimaev wants Nate Diaz fight still, saying, I'll smash that boy. He won't be the same Diaz anymore.
I mean, it's an easy fight. He realized that Gilbert Burns and these other motherfuckers were monsters.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, I'll take that easy money fight now. Nah, I'm good. I don't need to be a warrior and a fucking wolf to everybody. I'll take that Diego Sanchez fight.
Yeah.
You give me an old legend to put away with some big bank. Why not?
Right.
Now that he sees the money signs, now that he knows how much money is out there to be made, he's like, yeah, why the fuck wouldn't I fight Nate Diaz?
Yeah.
But do I want that fight to happen? No. Should anybody else want that fight to happen? No. Should it happen, period? No. So, I don't know. But Nate's got to fight. Nate's got to fight. Dustin's got to fight. Every one of these motherfuckers has to fight.
Yeah.
How do you have this many healthy fighters willing and wanting to fight for you?
Yeah.
There is no contract discussions. They are literally begging to fight. And you're not letting them fight. That's the craziest fucking part.
Yeah.
When the UFC is like, oh, they don't want to fight, they don't want to fight, they don't want to fight, but they're begging all the time to fight. Like, I don't know. You're losing money.
Yeah.
Like me, if I was businessman UFC, I'd want to make as much fights happen as possible all the time.
Yeah.
So.
You're right. Leon Edwards blasts, quote, little rat, end quote, to Jorge Masvidal. He wants to defend the title against him in London.
Yeah, so he is saying that once he beats Usman, he will grant Jorge Masvidal a title fight. And it'll be in London where it all went down with 3-piece and a soda.
Yeah.
Bubba, you gotta get past Kamaru Usman.
Yeah.
You gotta dethrone the pound for pound best fighter in the UFC.
Right.
A person that you've lost to before.
Yep.
And what do I always say? What is the one thing that makes me like go, maybe just shut up and maybe focus on yourself? Whenever a fighter starts making plans after an opponent, we just figured out where the fight was going to happen. You just figured out where the fight was going to happen. You thought it was going to be Las Vegas, and now you have to mention to everybody, oh yeah, it's going to be Utah.
Right.
Like, slow your roll.
Yeah.
Leon
One
Edwards.
at a time.
Leon Edwards, ladies and gentlemen, the guy that is seeing 5 feet in front of him, but falling off a cliff, like, immediately in front of him. Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand that kind of logic where, oh, let me go ahead and start calling this for a rematch when you just figured out when the fight was going to happen. Like,
right. Yeah.
You're the most clueless motherfucker. But whatever, Leon deserves this, I guess. Like, fine.
Ronda Rousey names Gina Serrano as the one opponent she'd return to fight in MMA.
Nobody cares. I mean, at one point, I would have loved to see this fight, but who cares about Corona? Who cares about Rousey? If you do, like, congrats. I mean, they're old now. I mean, they're old and out of practice. Imagine a Rousey that hasn't fought in... How long must it have been? We're talking about, like, 5 years? A half a decade? Yeah, no. And Gina's been fucking acting.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, I guess. I don't know. This is just done for hype. Like, this isn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
The UFC isn't gonna put this on.
No
state is gonna sanction this for MMA. Hopefully. Yeah. Please, Florida, we're looking at you. Do not sanction this for MMA. But, yeah. Like, if she comes knocking on my door, I'll fight her. She has it. She has my respect that way.
I will say I would like to see Gina Serrano go out. But other than that, call me when it happens. Next.
Yeah.
Okay. Manager of Alex Pereira says winner of Pereira versus Sean Strickland will fight for the UFC title.
Yeah, it makes sense. Listen, Sean Strickland is on a 5-6 fight winning streak.
Yeah.
Alex Pereira has gone out there and done work on some of the gnarliest motherfuckers.
And sorry,
and Sean
Alex,
Strickland,
for butchering your name there.
But that's where, I mean, Sean Strickland's a tough out. Yeah. He's on a winning streak too. He is a very dangerous opponent. He made Jack Hermanson look like he was a novice.
Yeah.
I mean, Jack Hermanson was just chasing him around, not able to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alex Pereira can go out there and get a knockout real quick. And if he does end up fighting Israel Adesanya, we're going to see Israel Adesanya in a very tough position where he is actually being challenged on feet by somebody else.
Yikes.
And I don't think Izzy's going to be shooting a takedown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he might, but that would be insane. That would be insane that Izzy would have to shoot to win a fight. Israel Adesanya, one of the best records we have seen in recent history, would have to resort to wrestling to get a win as a champion.
Yeah.
And who the fuck knows? Because Alex Pereira, he can fucking do a flying knee in the middle of a shoot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It makes sense. And the same for Sean Strickland. He goes out there and he puts Alex Pereira away.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, he beats them.
Yeah.
Then, that's the next one up. I mean, who the fuck else does he have to fight at 185?
Yeah.
It's one of them two.
Right, exactly.
I mean, he's got to destroy Jared Cannon here. I'm sorry. If anybody thinks that he's going to win, look at Rob Whittaker. Look what he did to him.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, maybe MMA math doesn't work like that, but for this scenario, it does. And it's very real, and it is what it is in this scenario.
Yeah. And I'm going to end the MMA Minute on an annoying note. Carla Esparza is saying she's not trying to go on Zhang Weili's suggested timeline because, as she says, I'm the champion. Tell us your thoughts on that.
I mean, if she had thrown maybe 30 strikes through 3 rounds of her championship bout and landed only one of 11 takedowns for a grand 2 minutes of control, maybe you go on Weili Zhang, a person that went out there and got a finish in the first or in the second. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we start pushing people. As much as I love fighters and I'm for fighters' rights, this is a scenario where, maybe the UFC kind of pushes you along and it's you got to fight.
Yeah.
And sooner rather than later.
Definitely.
You don't get to lollygag. You don't get to hold on to it. If you're healthy, you should be fighting at least once a year. You should really be fighting at least half a year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
There's plenty of other fighters. It's a ring around the rosy. There's other people in line.
Exactly.
Especially after a performance like yours.
Right, exactly.
You don't have room to talk. Yes, you are the champ, but unfortunately this is MMA and your last performance is the only one that counts.
Yeah. And
that was some bullshit.
Right.
To call yourself a champion after that performance, it can sound disrespectful as fuck, but so was that performance. What the fuck?
Yeah.
To everybody that paid their hard-earned money to watch that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing. People paid to watch you fight, and you did not fight.
Right. Yeah.
You can blame it on Rose, but
it is what
it takes 2 to tango.
It absolutely takes 2 to tango, and it takes 2 to not tango.
Right, and that's what both of y'all did.
Yeah.
But, okay. Pat Barry's a genius.
Excuse me. But so that's it for the MMA Minute this week. Now over to Mr. Motivated for It's Time.
First, let's talk about the amazing card we had this past weekend. We saw everything that you would want between the amazing knockouts, the retirement of a future Hall of Famer, and a controversial close decision for a dominant champ, and not to mention fight of the year, I don't give a damn, between Glover Teixeira and Jiri Prochazka. Babe, out of all of these things, what was the moment that stood out to you the most? What was the moment that caught you the most off guard? or the one that kind of left you feeling some type of way?
I mean, I can't not mention Joanna putting down her gloves and retiring. I probably shouldn't have been so surprised, but it just always is kind of like a little surreal to see it happen.
Right. I mean, yeah, you're talking about the boogie woman.
End of her fighting days.
You know, Tony, side A, her side B, in terms of one of the premier divisions that she built. Like, that motherfucker went out there and fucked up Carla Esparza and got that belt and then reigned supreme. And everybody was talking about JJ. For the longest time, it was Ronda Rousey and JJ. And Amanda Nunes who? Holly Holm what? It was only them two. And they were killing it for the longest fucking time. So JJ, I mean, go in her own right.
Yeah.
Goes out there and gets knocked out. You know, that the Larry David sus eyes.
Maybe really a TKO, but gets
the
KO.
I'm just saying, you don't have a speech like that in a retirement where you're naming off people left and right.
Yeah.
If you truly got, if you were
cold.
truly, you turned off. If your consciousness was separated from your brain, you would not be able to speak like that. And maybe, hey, you know what? She was having a tough fight and she was losing the fight. And if she wanted to go out like that, I commend it. But also, sus.
Yeah.
Also, whatever. It doesn't matter. Zhang Weili Zhang. We need to find out how her name is said because I keep on calling her Zhang Weili. She goes out there, puts her away, throws out all kinds of mad respect, and earns the fight against Carla Esparza. So, and that's where, like, putting away somebody like that, you have earned that shot. Like, say what you will about her having to earn that back, but it was still Joanna, despite the 2-year plus layoff. It was still a bad motherfucker, and they were going at it in that first round. Zhang Weili was getting the better of the exchanges, but I mean, it was still very competitive, more competitive than anybody else that I'm seeing. So,
it was. I know. But that one probably is going to be like my bigger like emotional fight. But holy cow, if I'm not so proud to see how big of a fight Glover Teixeira put in there. That was insane.
I had Jiri by KO. We all had it. For the majority, 80% Jiri by KO, 20% Glover by sub. A lot of MMA analysts.
50-50, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of other people had it more 50-50, or Glover can really go out there and sub Jiri. I have seen Jiri's fights, so I knew that sub wasn't going to come as easy as a lot of people are thinking, especially considering that this is a 43-year-old going up against a 29-year-old.
Yeah.
It is just different. With that being said, they both just shat the bed with anybody's predictions, except for one person on Verdict that got that decision.
That's crazy.
0.02%. That is his margin. He is in that percentage range of his decision. And by his logic, I'm forgetting the guy's name, I'm so sorry, but he says that, I was thinking Glover by decision. I figured if it goes that far away, but also Jiri could pull some shit out at the very end and possibly win by sub in the 5th.
That is insane.
And he nails it. It was honestly top 5 easy fights of all time.
Yeah.
Between the tides ebbing and flowing, this fight was so evenly matched.
Yeah.
I'm sad that Glover lost. But it's almost like Tony Ferguson getting knocked out. If he's gonna lose, At least he's doing it by fucking balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Tony had to get knocked out in that kind of fashion.
Yeah.
Like, Tony just doesn't get knocked out by a fucking jab.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And Glover, he goes out in a fucking blaze of glory in a war against a fucking madman.
And he's like, okay, next time maybe. You know, like, he's like, just so, it's okay. It's crazy. Yeah,
Glover is a fucking boss. I mean, just to think about doing, my back hurts at 31.
Yeah.
And for him to be doing this shit at the top of the food chain with the gnarliest motherfuckers is crazy. Keeping up. And by the way, if you guys didn't know, he was up on the scorecards.
Yeah.
He had 28 seconds left. Mm-hmm. And he ends up losing for the first time in his entire career by sub.
Yep. I know, it's crazy. That is insane.
Like, fucking insane. And that was just a section of the fight. Because there was so many distinct parts that it was like a story. Yeah. There was no part in that fight where it wasn't like, oh, you remember when he mounted him, or you remember when it was looking tough for Glover, but then he comes back, mounts Jiri, lands an elbow, slices Jiri's eyebrow open. Mm-hmm. Now we're like, oh, what the fuck? And then Jiri goes out there, lands a flying knee right on Glover, breaks his nose, cuts him up too, and then it's just back and forth. It was like a slugfest, but in 4D because the ground game was involved. And there was at least 5 reversals and high-level reversals.
Yeah. And the blood meter. Oh my god.
And the violence. Yeah. I mean, you remember when like Jiri was like cocking his his straight? It was like he was like gliding through a straight and it would sound like a launch cannon. Yes. And it would land square on Glover and you can hear it. Oh, and by the way, my second favorite audience in the world pulls through and shows everybody what's up. If you have not been paying attention, I laud the Asian audience because they are very respectful of the ground game. Mm-hmm. And also, they show what's up. They give props.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that like serene kind of audience experience from a live crowd, that's an Asian crowd, we would not be able to hear those shots the way they were heard.
I know. Yeah, you're right.
Like, the reason why I have Ireland crowds as number 1 is because they're, like, raucous as all hell.
Yeah.
Like, they just don't give a fuck.
The rowdiest of the rowdy.
It is a fucking fight. It is a fight club scenario.
They are
where
the
people
rowdiest
are chanting.
Ralliers there
but
ever were.
The reason why this is number 2 is just the class. It's almost like the sheer opposites.
They have fun too, like they celebrate.
I mean, whenever like Glover got north-south on
prudes.
Whenever Glover got north-south on Jiri and he was like sitting on his face and they laughed.
Yeah.
Like they know what's a good time, but they're also not gonna boo you on the ground.
Right.
And there was nothing to boo. Like if I would have heard a boo, I would have like fucking gotten a stroke. But they just really pulled through in the best way possible. I was like, they're gonna show out, they're gonna have fun, they're gonna cheer when it's necessary, and whenever it's not, they're gonna observe. They're gonna actually pay attention to the fucking fight and look at the nuances and appreciate it. Mm-hmm. That's the shit that I love about Asian MMA fans. That quarter of the world, they just know, like, applaud when necessary, and then just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
At all other times because other people are watching too and they want to know what the fuck is happening.
Right.
And that's what I fuck with the most.
Yeah.
It's that courtesy.
Right.
It's like, ooh, oh, I fuck with that. Yes, please, more courtesy. Let me suckle on that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Asian crowds are the best.
Yeah. What do you see next for both Glover and for the new champ?
Jiri has a tough choice ahead of him.
Yeah.
I think it's really 3 options. For Jiri, it's only 2.
Okay.
It should be between Glover Jan Blachowicz, or the winner of Anthony Smith versus Magomed Ankalaev. Jan versus Jiri makes sense. It's a clash of Europeans.
Yeah.
It's the Czech versus the Polish.
Right.
They're right fucking there. They can sell out a fucking stadium.
Yeah.
Imagine all these people
Oh my god.
put in a soccer field in Europe.
Yeah.
In the cold.
Right.
God, that would be fucking insane. You have the rematch of, again, one of the top 5 best fights in UFC history. I mean, why the fuck would you not? Glover is at the end of his career.
Yeah.
He really only wanted one more fight.
Yeah.
So maybe give him an appropriate exit.
Yeah.
But Anthony Smith versus Ankalaev, I'm sorry. You're just not in the running. Yeah. Just because those other 2 options are so much more appealing to Jiri.
Definitely.
Like, if Anthony Smith goes out there and fucks up Magomed Ankalaev, or same, vice versa.
Right.
Then maybe.
Okay.
Maybe they catch the attention of the champ.
Yeah.
But
you gotta really.
But you really gotta break down. There. You gotta break down all these different scenarios.
Yeah.
And Jan versus Jiri makes sense.
Right.
Glover versus Jiri makes sense, especially if you're trying to appeal to Jiri's like warrior sensibilities. It's like it was a close fight that you were losing.
Right.
If you're such a warrior, let's end this.
Right.
Let's fucking end this.
Yeah.
One more shot at the fucking title, baby.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go, Daddy-O.
Oh my god.
Glover versus Jiri 2. All the fucking marbles.
The pony and the smiles and the talks and the head knobs and the... all of it.
Then you have the Battle of Europe.
Yeah.
Who wins it?
Right.
Poland versus the Czech Republic. Who actually fucking goes and wins this shit between both countries? Both countries that have seen such hardship have champions, first-time champions, battling it out. And then you have the winner of Anthony Smith versus Magomed Ankalaev. Who, I'm sorry.
Do you give them Glover next?
If
Jiri takes Jean, do you give... No, because then the next person to fight there is Glover.
I would wait to see what Jiri says.
Yeah.
If I'm Glover, honestly, even though...
Just wait for Jiri.
Even though he went out there and, like, there is no shame in being second place and losing. There's no way he knew. Like, a lot of people are saying...
That's where just to start the conversation,
yeah.
Like, if anything, this is like, it just shows you how fucking good Glover Teixeira is. If anything, this only just made everyone look amazing.
Yeah, and if I'm Glover, though, it's rematch or bust.
I agree.
Why would you...
Why waste your time? Why take another fight? Why hurt yourself? Why anything?
And just especially coming off the heels of a future Hall of Fame fight.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, like, you don't see shit like that.
And you you just stepped down from the championship. Mm-hmm. That's your next move for sure. That's the only one you take.
If I'm Glover, I'm waiting. And I'm bending Jiri's ear.
Yeah.
If you're really a warrior, show me.
Yeah.
Defeat me.
Yeah.
Because I was beating you.
Right.
And for the people that are... whenever Glover pulled the guillotine in the 5th.
Oh my God.
For everybody that's like, why? The IQ, blah, blah, blah. He was fighting such a stupid fight. Y'all motherfuckers aren't in that position. Mm-hmm. Y'all don't know the amount of adrenaline that's pumping through these fucking madmen.
Yeah.
You just haven't experienced that situation where you're in the 5th round of a back and forth fight.
Yeah.
Where who the fuck knows I just want to kill this man. I just knocked him around. He's hurt. Mm-hmm. I know if I try to choke this motherfucker out, I can. And he does, and the blood and the sweat make it just slippery enough where a head that could have been popped off in any other scenario, pops out in this one.
Ew. Okay.
In such a back and forth fight.
Yeah.
That in a different reality, whoever wins.
In the
but
multiverse.
In this one, he just doesn't, and it's close. But if I'm Glover, I'm leaving it like that because that's a pretty good fucking note to leave the fans with.
Yeah.
You don't always have to end on a lot of people don't end on a good fight, let alone a legendary fight.
Right.
You just ended up being on the wrong side of that decision.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a decision. It just got taken.
I know.
It was a mistake. And mistakes are made.
Yeah.
In a 25 full-ass fight, full-ass minute fight. Like, you're going to make mistakes like that. And people are going to lose. And, yeah, like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Try it again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But if I'm Glover,
Sickening.
You're not a warrior. A warrior would have ended it.
Yeah. If you're Glover,
but, I mean, best case scenario for fight fans, because imagine if we went 25 minutes and we were like, oh, this was a robbery. Whoa, this is why this person won. This is why. At least there was a finish. There was a clear tap.
And it was a phenomenal fight. The entire fight was...
My heart's racing just talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was fucking insane. For anybody that missed it, like, for sure, set a reminder whenever it comes out for 2 weeks. But...
yeah, it was cool.
Jiri has a tough decision. If I'm Jiri, I pick Glover. But Jan Blachowicz was a B-bad. Jan Blachowicz didn't really win against Rakic. Rakic fucked himself up.
Yeah.
And Anthony Smith versus Ankalaev, they can wait for later.
I agree.
Big money?
Big money.
Glover Teixeira.
Do it. Street cred?
Street cred? You have that whole ass fight to pull clips from.
Pride?
You have at least like 3,000 different things that you can pull from that fight that were spectacular as a hype up clip to their rematch.
Right.
Why would you not use that?
Yeah.
Like,
you have a whole reel for their whole careers in that fight for the both of them.
And I mean, Glover's just too old. I don't want him to win his way back up.
Yeah. Next.
Yeah.
Next, though. He's next.
For sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And so we just talked about the first and last subjects, but this weekend we have the main event between Calvin Kattar and Josh Emmett, vying to see who is possibly going to be next between the winner of Volkanovski Holloway 3. Out of those two fighters, who do you think has it?
Calvin Kattar.
Okay. Calvin Kattar, if he ends up winning this in any kind of fashion, should he get the winner of Volkanovski versus Holloway? There is also Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez scheduled to be fought soon, I think.
It depends on how the fight goes.
If it's a finish?
If it's a finish, how fast it takes to get that finish. It depends on how the fight goes. It's not like
vicious
just
finish.
The winner. Yeah.
It's a vicious one-sided finish for Calvin.
Then yes.
Best case scenario.
Then yes.
He gets next title shot?
Yeah. Calvin Kattar's scary dude.
What if Holloway wins against Volkanovski? Then you're going to have Holloway versus Volkanovski 4, right?
Okay.
Because that makes sense.
Yeah.
In that world where it's such a close fight, everybody talks shit about each other, and if Holloway wins against a very dominant Volkanovski, who can easily be pound for pound number 2 or 3, in my opinion, that fight gets made, Calvin Kattar has to wait, obviously. If Calvin Kattar has to wait, does he wait, or does he fight the winner of Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez?
Yes, that. The late.
He fights the winner?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a really good matchup.
Yeah.
So, Josh Emmett is just should look here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just got Cater on this one.
That's fair. I think Josh Emmett will put up a good fight. I do think, however, that Calvin Cater's going to go out there and put on a show again. I really think he's going to put on a show.
Yep.
But yeah, that's it for this week's episode. I do think it's our best episode yet.
Yeah?
Babe, tell the people how they can follow us.
Okay, so there's many ways, lots of social media things you can do to get to us. But if you are on Twitter, hit us up at NoNameMMA1, Instagram at no.name.MMA show, or send us an email at nonamemmashow@gmail.com.
Thank you, baby. Have a great rest of your week. This is going to be the first week where Nina can see the fights live. Finally. And we have lots of fucking good fights. We have Donald Cowboy Cerrone possibly making his last appearance in the UFC. We have Julian Marquez, the guy who called out Miley Cyrus and then fucked it up. We have Calvin Cater versus Josh Emmett. We have a former No Name of the Week, Adrian Yanez fighting Tony Kelly, that racist piece of shit. It is going to be a fun night of fights. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Talk at you guys next week. Yep. Invest in your mental health. And as always,
fuck you, John Jones.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Fuck you.